How far would you go to change the world? Would you risk everything? Your money, your reputation, your company, your sanity, and even your life for an idea that almost everyone says is impossible? This is not a story about cars. This is not a story about rockets. This is a story about a man who refused to stop, even when the world laughed at him, tried to destroy him, and nearly crushed him. Tonight, you're going to hear the story that billion-dollar corporations never wanted the world to know. The story of how one man, against all odds, declared war on the most powerful industries on planet Earth, and won. This is the shocking rise of Elon Musk and the unbelievable, mysterious journey of how Tesla changed the world forever. Before Elon Musk became the world's most ambitious visionary, he was a quiet, introverted boy growing up in South Africa. A boy who was beaten so brutally in school that he was once hospitalized and unable to speak for days. While other kids played outside, Elon spent hours alone reading science fiction, engineering manuals, and dreaming of escaping to another world. Students bullied him. Teachers ignored him. Even his own father called him a failure. But deep inside him, something was growing. A fire, a storm, a vision so dangerous that the world was not ready for it. At age 12, he built and sold his first video game. At 17, he left home with almost nothing, running away to North America because he believed the future would be built there. He wasn't chasing money, he was chasing destiny. He once said, "When something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are against you." Nobody knew it yet, but that sentence would soon shake the entire world. Long before Tesla and SpaceX, Elon Musk entered the world of technology by building a company called X.com, one of the first online banking systems. People thought online payments were insane. Banks laughed. Investors rejected him. But the world changed when X.com merged with Confinity, and together they created something we now know as PayPal. Within a few years, PayPal disrupted global banking and digital payments, and it made Elon a millionaire. He could have retired right there. He could have lived a quiet life, bought mansions, traveled the world, and disappeared. But that wasn't his mission. He didn't want a comfortable life. He wanted a revolution. So instead of buying luxury, he invested almost everything he had into two ideas that experts said would destroy him: electric cars and space travel. Investors said he was insane. Friends told him it was suicide. His girlfriend at that time said it was the dumbest idea she'd ever heard. But Elon Musk answered with the same sentence that would later shock the world: "I don't ever give up." In the early 2000s, Tesla was just a tiny startup with almost no money, trying to build something everyone said was impossible: a powerful electric car that could beat gasoline cars. At that time, electric cars were a joke: slow, ugly, weak, and only able to travel short distances. Big car companies like Ford, BMW, Toyota, and General Motors laughed at Tesla. Executives mocked Elon publicly. Oil companies wanted Tesla gone forever. They believed Tesla would die quickly. They believed Elon would run out of money. They believed the world would never accept electric cars. They were wrong. Tesla released the Roadster, the first electric car that could drive more than 300 kilometers on a single charge. It shocked the auto industry. Suddenly, Tesla wasn't a joke anymore. It was a threat. And powerful people do not sit quietly when they feel threatened. The war began. Oil companies, gasoline corporations, automotive giants, and powerful political groups attacked Tesla from every direction. Media channels started publishing negative stories. Banks refused loans. Suppliers backed out. Investors ran away. Tesla nearly went bankrupt 3 times. Elon was sleeping on the floor of the factory, not in a mansion. He didn't see his family for weeks. He stopped paying himself. He sold his personal belongings to keep Tesla alive. And then came 2008, the year everything collapsed. The global recession hit. car companies were dying. SpaceX rockets kept exploding on launch pads. Tesla's money ran out. One night, sitting alone on Christmas Eve, Elon Musk said something that reveals the pain behind his success. "I had a choice, Tesla or SpaceX. One of them had to die. There was not enough money to save both." Imagine that. Imagine building your dreams with your own hands and then deciding which dream must be killed. But Elon refused to choose. Instead, he made a decision that even today seems insane. He split his last remaining money in half, risking both companies. Many people called him stupid. Some called him a gambler. Some said he had lost his mind. But what happened next changed history forever. SpaceX had already failed 3 rocket launches. Millions of dollars were gone. Investors abandoned the company. The 4th launch was the final chance. If it failed, SpaceX would be dead. Tesla would collapse soon after. Elon Musk would disappear from history as a joke. The world watched. News channels prepared headlines. Elon Musk's biggest failure. The countdown began. 10, 9, 8. The rocket rose into the sky, burning brighter than any hope left. People on the ground screamed, cried, prayed, and then it worked. SpaceX became the first private company in history to successfully launch a liquid fuel rocket into orbit. Everything changed in one moment. NASA signed a contract with SpaceX worth $1.6 billion. Tesla received last-minute investment from outside sources. Both companies survived. The world had no idea what was coming next. With renewed life, Tesla launched Model S, the most advanced car ever built at that time. It could go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour faster than a Ferrari. It had an autopilot that could drive itself. It was powered entirely by electricity. It had a giant screen instead of buttons. It got software updates just like a smartphone. And it was the safest car ever crash tested. People didn't believe it until they saw it. Suddenly, global car companies panicked. Oil corporations panicked. Governments panicked. Tesla didn't just build a car. Tesla declared war on the past. Journalists say there was life before Tesla and life after Tesla because of Tesla. Every major car company on Earth was forced to switch to electric vehicles. Billions were invested in new factories. Gasoline car production began shrinking around the world. Tesla didn't just make cars. Tesla changed the direction of human history. But success comes with enemies. Rumors began spreading against Tesla. Media outlets tried to destroy Elon's reputation. Short sellers, billionaire investors tried to bankrupt Tesla by betting against its success. They said Elon was a fraud. They said Tesla would die in months. They said electric cars were a bubble. Elon answered, "Tesla is not here to win. Tesla is here to survive." Factories caught fire. Production lines broke. Workers quit. Money vanished again. At one point, Elon lived inside the Tesla factory, sleeping under his desk for months. He said, "I had 2 choices, give up or keep fighting." You already know which one he chose. Today, Tesla is more than a car company. It is a technology empire. It is the future of transportation. It is the foundation of a new energy world. Tesla's value became greater than Toyota, Ford, Volkswagen, BMW, and Mercedes combined. Elon Musk became the richest man in the world, not because he bought luxury, but because he bet everything on an idea the world thought was impossible. Tesla changed cities, climate policy, energy production, the auto industry, space exploration, and the future of mankind. But the real question is, why is Elon Musk still fighting? What is his final mission? Is it money? Is it power? Is it revenge? Or is it something far larger, far more mysterious, something humanity still doesn't understand? Because Elon Musk says his mission is not Earth. He says his mission is to save the future of humanity, and that future does not exist on this planet. Those words shocked the world. Politicians laughed. Scientists called him unrealistic. News outlets mocked him. But behind closed doors, something much bigger was happening. Something the world was not prepared to understand. Because Elon Musk believed Earth was running out of time. Not in centuries, not in decades, but in our lifetime. He believed that humanity was facing extinction, whether through climate collapse, resource wars, an artificial intelligence takeover, or a planetary disaster we can't even predict. He said, we must become a multi-planet species. If we don't, we will eventually die. And that's when Elon Musk began building the biggest, most dangerous, and most expensive project any human has ever attempted. A plan to leave Earth. SpaceX was never just a rocket company. It was a blueprint for the survival of mankind. But rockets had failed again and again. The world was waiting for him to fall. Billions of dollars were being burned faster than rocket fuel. Every single launch was a gamble between making history and total disaster. And yet, Elon Musk continued. SpaceX engineers worked day and night. Families were strained. Friendships ended. The price of progress was paid in blood, sweat, and broken minds. One engineer said, "I have never cried more in my life than I did working at SpaceX." Another said, "Elon pushes people to a point that feels impossible, and then they do the impossible." What they were building would shock the world. In 2018, SpaceX prepared to launch Falcon Heavy, the most powerful rocket built since the Apollo moon landings. A rocket capable of lifting more weight than any other spacecraft on Earth. If it worked, humanity would take a giant leap forward. If it failed, SpaceX would die instantly. The launch pad was silent. Millions of people watched worldwide. Inside the rocket sat something symbolic. Something almost unbelievable. A red Tesla Roadster with a mannequin astronaut named Starman, headed toward deep space. A message to the universe. The engines ignited. The ground shook. The rocket rose higher and higher, burning through the sky. Then came the moment that stunned the world. Both side boosters separated and returned to Earth, landing upright simultaneously, like something straight out of a science fiction movie. The crowd screamed. Engineers cried. Elon stood watching, silent, emotional, exhausted. In that moment, human history had changed forever. And deep in the darkness of space, a Tesla drifted through the stars with a message written on its dashboard. Don't panic. The world finally understood. This man wasn't just trying to build a company. He was trying to build the future. But rockets were only part of the mission. Elon knew that if humanity was going to survive, communication must be independent of governments, borders, and wars. So he built something more powerful than any weapon: Starlink. A network of thousands of satellites floating above the Earth like a digital nervous system. A system that could bring internet to anywhere on Earth, bypass censorship and dictators, and operate even during war and disaster. A system that could control global communication without a single country owning it. At first, it sounded harmless, like a simple Wi-Fi system in space. But governments were terrified. Military leaders were alarmed. Cybersecurity experts panicked. Because whoever controls global communication, controls the world. Today, more than 6,000 Starlink satellites orbit our planet, forming the largest satellite network in human history. And only one man controls it. During the war in Ukraine, when communication systems failed, Starlink switched on and changed the course of the conflict. World leaders realized something terrifying. One man now holds more power than entire nations. While the world was still processing Starlink, Elon revealed another idea. One so shocking, people thought it was pure science fiction: Neuralink. A chip implanted directly into the human brain. A device that could restore sight to the blind, allow paralyzed people to walk again, connect the human brain directly with computers, and even allow humans to control devices with their thoughts. One day, it could merge human intelligence with artificial intelligence. In January 2024, Neuralink implanted its first chip into a human brain, successfully. For the first time in history, a human moved a computer cursor using only their thoughts. People started asking, is this the beginning of human evolution? Or is this the beginning of the end of humanity as we know it? Scientists are divided. Governments are afraid. Some say Elon Musk is saving humanity. Others say he's playing God. But no matter what they think, Neuralink is real. And it is only the beginning. While revolutionizing space and neuroscience, Elon was building something even bigger on Earth. Gigafactories, gigantic industrial complexes producing batteries, solar technology, AI robotics, and electric vehicles at a scale never seen before. These are not normal factories. They are designed like military bunkers. Robots move silently through the halls. Machines work day and night. Each gigafactory powers entire cities and builds the machines that will build the future. Tesla is no longer a car company. It is an energy empire. But when someone changes the world pushes back. Governments have tried to block him. Corporations have sued him. Oil companies have waged war against him. News outlets attack him daily. Powerful forces wanted him silent, but every time they tried to bury him, he rose higher. One investor said, Elon Musk is the most dangerous man in the world because he does not stop. And that fear is growing, because his next mission is the most ambitious yet. While the world sees SpaceX rockets as engineering marvels, Elon sees them as escape vehicles. The giant rocket, Starship, the largest and most powerful object ever built by humans, has only one purpose: to carry people to Mars and build a new civilization. Not a research camp, not a temporary visit, a permanent human colony. When asked why Mars, he replied, if something happens to Earth, we need a plan B, and Mars is the only path forward. But there are questions nobody wants to ask. Who gets to go to Mars? Who decides who is worthy? Who will control a colony beyond Earth? Will it be a world of freedom or a dictatorship? And what if Mars becomes a world for only the richest and most powerful? Some scientists warn, the person who controls Mars controls the future of humanity. And right now, there is only one person building that future. So, is Elon Musk the greatest visionary in human history? Or the most powerful and dangerous man alive? Some say he's saving the planet, advancing technology, and giving hope to humanity. Others say no single man should have this much power. He controls global communication through Starlink, global energy through Tesla, the future of space through SpaceX, and the future of human intelligence through Neuralink. When one man controls the future, what happens if he makes a decision the world doesn't agree with? Nations can be stopped, governments can be replaced. But who stops a man who controls the world's future? The world is standing at a crossroads. One road leads to a new golden age, where humanity becomes a spacefaring civilization. The other road leads to a future ruled by a single man with more power than entire countries. And now, something is happening behind the scenes. A silent war between global governments, intelligence agencies, and Elon Musk. A war that could decide the fate of the 21st century. Because the question is no longer can Elon change the world. The question is, will the world allow him to? The battle about to unfold will change history forever. The silence before the storm rarely makes headlines. But deep beneath the surface of global politics, intelligence networks, and military operations, something was shifting. Something was shifting, something that terrified the most powerful people on Earth. Secret meetings were happening. Closed-door discussions nobody was supposed to know about. Emergency phone calls at midnight. Documents marked classified being moved between governments like weapons. Because world leaders finally realized something. The future was no longer controlled by nations. It was controlled by a man who refused to kneel. And that man was Elon Musk. But when power reaches a breaking point, history turns dark. Because for the first time, governments began to see Musk not as a visionary, but as a threat, started quietly. Countries like China, Russia, France, and even the United States themselves began forming strategies, policies, and secret intelligence plans to either contain or neutralize Musk's influence. Leaked documents revealed that national security agencies were analyzing how dangerous it might be if Musk controlled space-based weapon systems, global satellite communication, AI-driven war networks, space-to-Earth missile platforms, data from billions of devices, and a future colony beyond legal jurisdiction. One analyst wrote, "He controls the sky. K, if he controls space. K, then he controls war." Another warning, no democratic system has ever allowed one man to hold this level of power. Because if Starlink can operate above every country, if SpaceX rockets can launch anything, anywhere, and if Neuralink can access the human brain, then the world's governments lose their power instantly. And for those who rule through control, nothing is more dangerous than losing control. In 2022, when the war in Ukraine erupted, something unprecedented happened. The entire region's communications collapsed. Military command networks were destroyed and millions were cut off. But in a matter of hours, without any government approval, Elon Musk activated Starlink over Ukraine and restored military-level internet coverage across the battlefield. Ukrainian forces gained a strategic advantage. Russian operations shifted. The global military balance changed overnight. Suddenly, world leaders realized one private individual had the power to influence the outcome of a war, something no corporation had ever done. In private military briefings, the question echoed, what happens when one man becomes more powerful than NATO or the United Nations? That moment changed everything, because Musk had proven he didn't need permission. He had proven he could decide who wins and who loses. And nothing terrifies governments more than a man they cannot control. Space is no longer science fiction. It is the next battlefield. Every nation on Earth is fighting for control of low Earth orbit, the territory above the planet where communication systems, surveillance, satellites, and weapon platforms operate. And SpaceX rockets now launch over 80% of all new satellites on the planet. SpaceX is launching more satellites than every government space agency combined. Multiple intelligence reports claim the Pentagon and other agencies fear a single scenario. What if Starlink becomes a weapon? Imagine military drones guided by AI from orbit, laser communication networks that control war machines, hypersonic weapons launched from space, or satellite-based missile defense systems. Imagine the ability to disable a country's communication instantly. One general said in testimony, if he wanted to, Musk could shut down the internet in half the world by pressing a single button. That is not science fiction. That is real. And that is why global powers began preparing for a conflict unlike anything in history, a silent war for control of the future. Governments can fight rockets. They can fight satellites. They can fight economic disruption, but they cannot fight a device that connects directly to the human brain. Because Neuralink creates the possibility of transferring knowledge instantly. It means military soldiers could be connected mentally in real time. It means a rise merging with human cognition. It means memory storage and transfer between people and full control systems using thought alone. A leaked briefing describes Neuralink as the most powerful weapon ever conceived, access to the human mind. Think about it. Weapons destroy bodies and control destroys nations. But controlling human thought, that changes civilization itself. And behind the scenes, companies, governments, militaries, and even foreign intelligence networks are competing to either capture or destroy Neuralink before it reaches full scale. Because whoever controls the mind controls everything. Tension reached its peak in 2023 when Elon Musk refused a government request to activate Starlink for a classified military operation. The world was shocked. A private citizen had just denied a government request related to war, something unheard of in global history. Commentators said, "This is the beginning of the Musk Doctrina private empire answering to no country." One intelligence expert stated, "If governments cannot control Musk, they may eventually be forced to eliminate him." It sounds dramatic, it sounds impossible, it sounds insane. But the history of power is written in blood. When someone cannot be controlled, they become a threat to everyone in power. And there is something else. Something whispered quietly in political circles, military analysis rooms, and billionaire boardrooms. What if Musk actually succeeds? What if he reaches Mars, builds a colony, and creates a civilization beyond Earth's control? Who would rule it? Who would enforce law? Who would decide who gets to live there? Some fear Mars could become a capitalist empire beyond Earth's jurisdiction. A civilization controlled by one man. A technological superpower capable of dominating Earth from above. If Mars becomes independent, Earth becomes obsolete. For centuries, humanity has existed under nations, governments, and laws. But now, one man is building a world where borders don't matter, governments don't matter, and traditional power is meaningless. A world powered by AI, space networks, digital communication, autonomous machines, and brain-computer systems. And the question the world is afraid to ask is, are we witnessing the rise of the most powerful empire in human history, and does it belong to one man? Some call him the savior of humanity. Others call him a dangerous force that must be stopped. Because when a single human holds more power than nations, armies, and corporations combined, there are only two endings. A future that transforms humanity and saves civilization, or a future where humanity loses control forever. And right now, we are standing at the edge of that choice. If you want to understand how this battle ends, how this silent war will shape the future of every country, every technology, and every human life, make sure you like this video, share it with others, and subscribe and turn on notifications, because the next documentary will expose even deeper truths the world is not prepared to hear. Your support helps us reveal stories that powerful want to keep hidden.